guys, it is just 3 minutes after 10, according to my alarm clock, which means it's more like about 10 o'clock. Rebels just ended the first 2 of the final episodes. From the end of the first one, I could not stop crying. It's like, I would cry, and then I would just, like, be sobbing, and be totally, and then, like, I'd be totally fine, and then I'd be during commercials, and then the show would come back on, and I'd just start crying again. They were really good episodes, they were amazing episodes, they were just, it was so sad. I mean, at one point, I was bawling and just shouting no, and my mom was actually outside in the hallway. Outside of my door. And I was crying out, no, 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 and just crying so hard, and she heard me, and she got worried because she couldn't figure out why I was crying. And I didn't want to tell her I was crying because I was watching Rebels, so. If this is what the first 2 episodes do to me, I'm worried about what the last 5 are gonna do. I'm gonna get going and get ready for bed and just try to collect myself. I'll talk to you guys later.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I mean afternoon. It's almost 12:30 and I'm just vlogging for today. So quick note, during Lent, I will only be posting videos on Wednesday, which means I will only be filming Tuesdays, which is great because I will also probably be filming my reactions to Rebels episodes Monday after they air. So if they were like totally out of this world, I will be filming like a quick 2-minute reaction Monday night, which will be posted before the start of the videos Tuesday, which will be posted on Wednesday. So you guys will only hear from me once a week during Lent, simply because it will make it that much more easier for me as I just do a new schedule and all that stuff. So I know I have my emergency phone in my hand. I was checking because look behind me. There is very little snow. It is cold. It is dreary. It is red because since noon yesterday, we have been under a flood watch, and we are still under one till 4 p.m. So we are supposed to get like a ton of rain. So, but it is fitting. If you guys, obviously, if you're watching this, you saw my Monday night reaction to last night's reaction to Rebels. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say that through the first episode, Jedi Knight, I was totally fine. I was enjoying it. It was funny. I mean, there was a lot of cute moments between Hera and Kanan. I was like enjoying myself. It was a really good episode. And like 2 minutes towards the end, I'm like, yes, we're going to get through this. It's not going to be traumatic because everybody online was tweeting, who had seen previews of the episodes were tweeting, oh my gosh, you're going to need an entire box of tissues. This is going to be an emotionally wrecking episode. Make sure you have your tissues ready. And then last night before the episode aired, everybody was posting pictures like, we have our tissues. I posted a picture of my Star Wars blankie, which I got out just for that, and Wicket and Chewie, and I said, I am all set. I hope Chewie doesn't mind if he gets wet. Because I'm like, it's going to be this really emotional episode, and then it starts out, it's like, it's totally fine, it's cute, it's sweet, it's thought-provoking, and then I'm like, we get 2 minutes to the end, I'm like, yes! This isn't going to be an episode that makes me break down, finally! And then that ending to Jedi Knight happens, and I am just sobbing my eyes out when it starts, and I'm just crying and bawling and yelling, and basically it was my Ahsoka reaction to Ahsoka's the ending of season 2, Twilight of the Apprentice, but toned down a little bit. I mean, Twilight of the Apprentice, I totally lost it. But it was slightly toned down, but I was yelling, no, this can't be happening. They wouldn't. So I was like so devastated. In fact, I think I mentioned this in the first video from last night that my mom, who was up and down the hallway, she actually asked me twice if I was all right. Because I was just sitting here in my room just sobbing, no, and being so utterly devastated. And my poor mom, I freaked her out. And then like second time she asked, I went, I'm fine. It was like I was totally. And then the thing was, in the second episode, I thought I was done. I was like, it was calming down. I was breathing. The commercials came on, and I was like, I would not be sobbing anymore. I still have tears running down my face, but I wasn't like sobbing. I wasn't devastated. I had my Kindle out, and during commercials, I was reading fan fiction, so I thought I was totally fine. And then would come back from commercials, and I'd burst into tears again for Doom. And I'm like, no, my gosh, why? And so I spent pretty much over an hour last night in total tears. My mom knew I was watching this. I don't think she realized how bad it was, but I had posted a before picture of myself like 10 minutes before the show came on to Instagram, which goes to my Twitter, which goes to my Facebook, and then I posted an after picture, and you could just tell I had been crying, that I was so devastated. And my mom's like, oh, she cried. And it's like, yeah. And she walks by and she's like, I take it didn't go well. And I went, no! And here's the sad thing. Like Twilight the Apprentice, it was two amazing episodes. They were so well written. They were so incredible. They were so good. I mean, and they're so well written to the point that in the start of Jedi Knight, you think they do so much stuff. I just felt like it was going to go the opposite way of how it went in the end, because they were doing so much stuff. I'm like, that's not going to happen. Whatever it is, it's not going to happen. And then it happens. I'm like, no! So I spent last night being totally devastated. I actually started off the night completely wrapped in this blanket under the covers, because I was like, I just wanted to shut away the entire world. I didn't want to think about anything, so. And I posted last night on Twitter before I went to bed that it was I was so devastated. It was an amazing episode, but those episodes prove just how much of an impact not just Star Wars Rebels, but Star Wars can have. Because I said this about Twilight the Apprentice with what happened to Ahsoka, how devastated I was by that. Is that with Star Wars, you have these amazing characters. They're out of the world. They are so amazing that they're not real. But here's the thing: they feel like they could be real. Their personalities, everything is just like, oh my gosh. Like I said, I could see myself hanging out with Ahsoka. I could see myself hanging out with Ezra and Sabine, because they just seem so real. And then because they seem so real and they're relatable, their stories, what happens to them, pull you in. They grab you and pull you in and don't let you go. To the point where it's been 4 years since we first met Kanan in the first season of Star Wars Rebels. And not only did we have him on Star Wars Rebels, but we have A New Dawn, which I have with box of my Tarkin book. There is New Dawn, which tells the story about how Kanan and Hera first met, and we learn more about Kanan. And then they came out with Kanan, the Last Padawan, which further dove into his backstory and everything that happened to him. And so it's like, you read all about Kanan, and it's like, so just, probably spoiler alert, but you probably already know that. So that's the thing about Star Wars, is they create these characters who are so relatable, and then give you these compelling stories, these tragic stories almost, that just pull you and grab you in, and you are cheering for them so hard. You want them to win. And then something devastating happens, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. So I was absolutely devastated. I don't think I was the only one. Pretty much everybody on Twitter, when I checked a little bit, they were like they could not believe it. On Rebels Recon, they actually, I think it was the recording session they did for Jedi Knight, they showed that, and at one point, Freddie, who voices Kanan, is just sitting in a chair, his head is in his hands, because Dave Filoni revealed that for the ending, he kind of pulled a George Lucas. When they did Empire Strikes Back, not only very few people knew that Vader was going to be revealed to be Luke's father. So what Dave did was he took out the last 2 pages of the Jedi Knight script and withheld them. And then in the recording session, he stopped and went up to each actor and told them what was going to happen. And at one point, you just see Freddie, and his head is in his hands. And I don't know if it's from that recording or not, but it just spoke volumes, because not only do we, the fans, fall in love with these characters and cheer for them and want to see everything turn out, but also the people who portray them, the actors. I mean, these are their characters. So it was just, there were 2 really good episodes. 2 more air next week, so we are down to the last 5. So if last night's episodes were any indication, I need to get a really big box of tissues, because I actually made the joke on my Galactic Vampire page on Facebook, where I'm a member, that I'm like, I feel like I'm just going to bawl my eyes out every single episode. Well, I bawled my eyes out for the first 2. So, I probably, I don't know. Next week's is going to be interesting because next week they're going back to the Jedi Temple on Lothal. So I'm really excited about that. So, and that's getting my head working overtime because Mortis. So, it's fun, but it's kind of nice. So, not a lot's been happening. Last Wednesday, we go to the library on Wednesdays. I did pick up, they did have 2 Old Republic books, so I have Revan, and I am totally loving it so far. I just love the character of Revan, so. Star Wars, not much is going on. They did release the trailer today for Last Jedi for the home release. It is coming out it will be released on digital HD on March 15th, and then March 27th, the Blu-ray will be released. So I don't think they're doing AM DVD this time. It should be weird. But, so yeah. Went to church Sunday. We made it through the sermon, then we left because my mom wasn't feeling good, which I actually don't blame her. So she's actually going to stop attending that church when I go up to Mackinac, which, other good news, I have heard back. I had been stressing because I hadn't heard back from Miss Myers, and I emailed her a couple questions yesterday. I'm still hired. I still have a job there. It's just that they're still under a deep freeze and stuff, so I actually emailed her a couple questions yesterday about laundry and uniform. Laundry is interesting. They actually don't have laundry inside the house, but there is a building they own downtown where I will be able to do my laundry for free, so I can go there and do it. 1 washer, 1 dryer. I'm used to that. I'm used to sharing. I live in an apartment with a ton of people, so I only do my laundry about once a month because I have to find a day when everybody else. So I might take a day where I get 2 days off a week, so if there's one day where all my other roommates are working, that might be the day I get up early and go do laundry. But the dress code is really interesting. You know, if you watch my videos from when I was working at the Halloween store, I was kind of taken back about how casual it is because the only requirement was wearing the work shirt, which I've since thrown away because it was so dirty by the end of the season because I only bought 1. I just had to wear the work shirt and then I could wear whatever I wanted, and really there wasn't even rules about it being revealing. It was just wear some sort of bottom. So I was able to get away with wearing a blue jean skirt and leggings, and then for Halloween, the last few days of the store, and even he really didn't care if you even wore the shirt. There was a couple times the other employees would come in and they weren't wearing the shirt. So, but for Halloween, we all got to wear whatever we want. So I wore a black V-neck, blue jean skirt, and leggings because I went as a butterfly. And I might do that again. I don't know. I said I wasn't going to celebrate Halloween anymore, but part of me is still so drawn to it, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I get to dress up, because I really liked being a butterfly. I really like dressing up, so I don't know. But the dress code for Balsam Stops is even more casual. In the emails he sent me, I don't have to bring any designated work clothes, because what they will do is they will give me a couple t-shirts and a sweatshirt from the shops to wear as advertisement, because this is not just a shopping center, it's actually a museum. It's officially called Surrey Hills Museum. It just happens to have 3 shops and a food thing in there. But it's also kind of like a carriage museum. So, but I get a couple of shirts and a sweatshirt, and she says, we'd like you to wear them as kind of advertisement for the shop. So I'm like, really? I'm already working in the shop and you're just going to give me like the suit? And they're not like special shirts. These are the shirts and sweatshirts they sell in the shops. So I'll be wearing something that says Surrey Hills on it because they want people to come to Surrey Hills, because the main problem it's not a problem. It's just that the majority of their business, because they are so far away from the downtown area, like about a mile, but most people don't really go past the Grand Hotel. They don't go all the way to where Surrey Hills is, so they get most of their business from the carriage tour customers, because the carriage tours take them up there. So most of their business is from the carriage tour customers, so she wants us to wear it, so we get these shirts so we can wear them to be advertisements for the shops and the carriage house and the museum. I'm like, and then it follows up with this. But if I don't want to, I don't have to wear the shirts they give me. I can wear whatever nice shirt or sweater I want. I'm like, wait a minute. You're giving us, all the workers are going to get at least 2 t-shirts and a sweatshirt to wear, but we don't have to. And then it gets even more interesting. We are allowed to wear blue jeans so long as they are not dripped. And we can also wear skirts and shorts so long as they are not revealing. Basically, this is what the end of it is. Just dress really casual and you'll fit right in. Nicely casual and you'll fit in. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That is even more casual than the Halloween store, and I'm loving it. But I did ask for clarification because I wear capris. Well, I wear leggings capris I make from leggings like these. So I like wearing leggings and tights because I am such a big skirt wearer, or I just wear leggings. So I wanted to clarify that I can wear leggings, underskirts like capris, and then tennis shoes because maybe I can get away with my Darth Vader high tops to work a couple times. That would be funny on May 4th, just come in with, well, my mom doesn't want me to take my lightsaber skirt because last year the crinoline got ripped. I don't think Mom realizes that it was the crinoline itself because the skirt has a liner, but then I also have the crinoline I wear under it. That's what got ripped, was the liner under the crinoline. But I fixed it, and I even gave it a little slit so it's easier to move in, so. But I had the job. I sent her back another email because I did have another question about food storage. That one's more for my mom. My mom wants to set me up with some things like canned chicken and rice and cereal, peanut butter, stuff like that, because of my food issues. They're nothing major. It's not anything major. It's just that certain foods, the texture or something, it just disagrees with me. There are certain foods I cannot have because they make me sick. Like I used to have ranch all the time. I can no longer have ranch. It makes me sick to my stomach. I can't have vinegar. That makes me sick to my stomach. If I have just like vinegar with french fries, that makes me sick to my stomach. I have to be careful. Although I can use like shampoos and body washes and toothpaste that have sulfites in them. Those are the only sulfites I can use. I can't, neither my brother and I can have like meat that uses sulfates in it because we're actually digesting them or something. I guess it's okay when we're using them in like our shampoo and our toothpaste and stuff, but like in food, we can't have it. Because it makes us sick. So I can't have certain meat. So my mom really just wants me to get like some stuff, and I actually put in the email, I will gladly share. Because knowing my mom, I will have a ton of stuff. Like when my dad came up from Memorial Day, he brought an entire wagon full of food. I didn't even touch half of it. Partly because I didn't have a can opener, so it's really just making sure I have some food so that I'm not eating out all the time. Like when I was in Mackinac Island, I ate out a lot, but I'm going to try to avoid that this time. And then, of course, paperwork, because last year Lakeview sent me up paperwork to fill out, and then I got there and it was the wrong paperwork, so I had to fill out different paperwork. But I want to know, will the paperwork be sent to me here to fill out, or do I have to go, or will it be up there and I'll have to make sure I have, like, all my other stuff I need? So, like, my show's card and stuff like that. So, it's just stuff to know. I don't have my start date, but my mom thinks if the weather keeps warming up the way it is, I will probably be up there the first or second week of April, which means I have like the rest of this week and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have about 6 or 7 weeks, so just over a month until we're estimating I will be leaving. And I still have so much to get. I still have to get my new bike if I'm getting it, which I think I am. Because my mom says if I really want it, she will go in half on me. But then my dad keeps asking me questions about it, so I don't know. But, so I have to set aside, so my refund is coming, so $110 of that will be set aside to get my ferry book because I'm going to still check with Starline. I'm going to check. But I'm going to set aside $110 just in case that they're not going to let me use the rest of my commuter pass, which is right here, of which I have like 10. So I have like 10 of these left. And that's $110 for 20. So I have to set aside $110 of my refund for that, just in case they won't let me use the rest of my 10. And which I don't think they will because it's seasonal. And then I have to set aside, I have to take $5, at least, I don't think I can take $5 out in cash from an ATM. I think I have to take out 10. So another 10 will have to come out in cash because no matter whether or not I get a new bike, I'm taking a bike up there. And by taking a bike up there, I'm going to need to stop and get a bike license from the police, from the city of Mackinac Island. It's real. It's actually called the city. It's called the City of Mackinac Island Public Works. I have to go to the police station and get a bike license, which is just a sticker I put on my bike. It's really cool. It's still on a mortgage. It's like the coolest souvenir you can get, in my opinion. If you stayed up there long enough with your bike, you have to get a bike license. And it's like $350, and it's definitely worth it. I think just getting a bike license, even if you're just going up for like a week, is something really smart to do, because there's this thing on Mackinac Island, I've talked about it, it's called bike borrowing. Your bike is not stolen, it is borrowed. People will borrow bikes, and that makes it really hard because they want you to lock up your bikes, they want you to do this. The issue is it's kind of hard to lock up bikes, especially during the busy season, because there's literally no place to park. Hysterical, but it's true. There's like no place to park on Mackinac Island on Main Street during the busy season. And I don't think you can park your bikes on Market Street. So it makes it really hard to find a parking space. But you get a bike license. It's just an easy way if something happens to the bike, they can find it and return it to you. So it's just something really easy, really simple. It's just a sticker you put on your bike. You have to know like your model, the number, all that other stuff. So, which is why I kind of want to get a new bike because I couldn't find the model number on a mortgage because it was on the bottom of the pedals and it was so caked with dirt we couldn't find it. So, but the police are really, 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 really ultra nice up there. It's so weird though because you see them on bikes. It's like yes, there's a police department. They use bikes to get around and they have little sirens on their bikes. So. It's really fun. It's really nice. They are so super nice. Last year, there were people that they parked their bikes, and one was a tandem bike, and it just got knocked over. And I was trying to put it back up, and the policeman said, "Is this your bike?" I'm like, "No, I don't know whose bike it is, but it fell over, and it's kind of in the street, and I want to get out of the way so that people aren't running into it, the horses aren't stepping on it, or stuff like that." So he went to put it up. His bike fell over, so I went and put his bike up, and I held it for him. So the police officers are really incredibly nice on Mackinac Island. I mean, people stop and take pictures of them, and they will just let them take pictures because, come on, it's like so weird. Where else are you going to see a cop on a bike? So it's really nice up there. Everybody is so nice. Everybody is so friendly. It's awesome. So I can't wait to get back up there. I have like a list a mile long of things I want to do. The one thing I want to do is something they do in October, but it's at Fort Michilimackinac, which is the fort in Mackinac Island, so it's on the mainland. No, not Mackinac, Mackinac City, which is on the mainland, and they do this haunted fort attraction in October, which I would love to go do, except it's at night in October. The ferry stopped running at like 6 o'clock. So, I mean, like through the busy season from like May through September or something, they run ferries up to like the last ferry leaves the island at like 10:30. So, and the first ferry comes to the island at like 7. So they run ferries pretty much the entire day during the busy season, which is like Memorial Day through Labor Day is the height of it. So it's insane. And then all of a sudden during October, it's like, whoo, boom, done. So it will be interesting this year when I go up because I will be, where I catch the ferry depends on whether or not Starline is starting their spring-summer schedule yet, because during the winter months, which is like till early April, they only run ferries. I have to go and check, but for most of the fall and winter, from like November through, I want to say March, they only run ferries out of St. Ignace, which is across the bridge. So if that's the case, and they don't have ferries running in Mackinac City yet, my mom, whoever is taking me, will have to pay like $5. I think it's $4 per reel, actually, to go across the bridge to take me to catch a ferry, and I have to pay that same money coming back across the bridge. So it will so where I take the ferry from will depend. I do Starline because it's just easier. I prefer Starline over Sheplers. And Starline is nice because it has 2 separate docks on Mackinac Island. Sheplers only has 1, and that's where all their ferries come from. Starline a couple of years ago brought out Arnold's ferry service, which is what we used when I went to the island when I was 11. And now they have 2 docks on Mackinac Island, which means they have 1 dock designated just to going to and from Mackinac City, and 1 designated just going to and from St. Ignace, which makes it really nice. And most of their business comes from Mackinac City, so it's nice. It's fun. So I'm excited. I'm getting excited. I still have to pick my shirts, what I'm going with me. Make it harder on me. My mom comes home Saturday night. This is how I know my family loves me. My mom especially. She supports my crazy Star Wars fandom. This is a lot longer than I thought it would be. But it'll be a lot longer during lunch. So now I have to find it. My mom got us all shirts. This is the shirt she got me. I don't know if you can tell. It's Boba Fett. So my mom got me a Boba Fett shirt, and her reasoning behind getting me Boba Fett is when I explained just who Boba Fett is, she's like, oh, you can just use it to sleep in. I'm like, I'm not going to use a Star Wars shirt to sleep in. So I wore it yesterday. It's actually kind of comfortable. So I have lost weight because that's a 2X, and that would usually be too small, and it's actually nice. So, and then my grandma, love my grandma. I don't know who told her I like Star Wars, but I have 1 birthday card from her, and then, which I love. I was just excited about this one because it has a bike on it, and I love biking. But then Saturday, my mom comes home with mail for me. My grandma sent me another birthday card. a little blue dog with "Drop the cake, you will," and then open it up and it says, "A happy birthday you will have," and I died laughing. And then I looked for on the back and it says, "And now a walk I need." And I about died laughing because I'm like, oh my god, my grandma, who told her just how much I like Star Wars, that she went out and got me another birthday card with a bulldog with Yoda ear. So that just made my day. So thank you, Grandma. I love you. So other than that, nothing on tap, which is one of the reasons why during Lent they'll only get once a week, because there really is nothing going on. Saturday night we have plans. My great Aunt Luella, her birthday was yesterday, and she turned 100. Which in my family, 100 is a big deal, but I've had relatives who've lived to their late mid-90s, so for me it's like, oh cool, 100. If you don't believe me, her husband, my great Uncle Bob, almost, when he passed, he was like 96 or 98, so he was old. So I love my Aunt Luella. She's awesome. She's amazing. I loved Uncle Bob too. He was hysterical. When we were going to Holy Scripture, he had a walker, and he would run you over. Like literally, because after service we have donuts and coffee and stuff like that. He loved it so much, he'd get up out of the pew and he'd just be like, seriously, I would be like, I'd hear, "Kayla, get out of the way, Uncle Bob's coming." So my Uncle Bob would run you over. I loved him so much. I loved him and my Aunt Luella so much that for my senior prom, when I went with my friend Karen, because we didn't have dates, we went together. A friend date. So when I went to my senior prom and we had all this time to kill, I actually asked Karen to stop at their house, which was on the way, because I wanted to show them my prom dress, because they had seen, because I wasn't planning on going to church the next day. I don't think. I went my freshman year when I went to prom, because I went with a senior. I went to church the next day, but this year I don't think I did, because it was just so tiring. So I wanted to show them my prom dress, and they had company. It was okay. They were cousins. So they were related. So I just came in, and my Uncle Bob went and got the oldest camera I'd ever seen from like the 80s or from like the 90s, because I digital. So he got like out his camera, which he barely uses, and he took pictures of me and Karen, because he and Aunt Luella were so happy that I thought of them and decided I wanted to stop in before I went to prom, because my dad wasn't home. My dad was at the mall. We saw him at the mall because we stopped there because I wanted a tiara for my hair. And my mom wanted me to visit a friend. So Karen's mom was at the mall, so we stopped to see her mom. My dad was at the mall, but we just waved. So my mom, I think, saw me, but she, I think, was working that night or something. So and then we went to the church and took pictures and stuff. But I really wanted to, because, you know, prom, you go so family members. I didn't really think of anybody. Most of my family lived out in the country. And then I remembered Uncle Bob and Aunt Luella live in the city on the way to Northwood, which is where the prom is being held. So we stopped there, and it just made them so happy. You know, I didn't think it made a difference. And then my mom and my dad and other relatives are coming up to me telling me I made them so happy because I stopped on my way to prom to see them. So I miss my Uncle Bob so much. It's kind of sad living in a type of family where I have, where so many of the relatives are getting elderly, because it's so sad to see them go, and I love them so much. So I'm excited to go to Aunt Luella's 100th birthday party Saturday. It will be so much fun to see her and hug her. I'm waiting to see if she calls my brother a smartass. Pardon the language, but she called my brother a smartass one time because my Uncle Bob wanted a slice of cake, and my brother did not know that my aunt had gone up to get my uncle his slice of cake. My uncle knew, but he still said he wanted a slice of cake, so he asked my brother to go get him a slice of cake, and my brother went, sure, goes, gets my uncle a slice of cake, brings it back. My aunt comes back with a slice of cake for him, looks at Uncle Bob, and he's like, Aaron, and points to my brother, and my aunt goes, you're such a smartass. So, also, funny fact about Aunt Luella, I'm not allowed to be in the car with her if she's driving. She has a lead foot and doesn't know what a speed limit is, so I've never been in the car where she is driving. So, I have some of the coolest relatives, so I'm going to get going. I need to go get lunch. Nothing fancy, just microwave pizza. So I'm going to get going. You guys stay safe, stay sane. I will talk to you all next week. I'm sending you all lots of love, hugs, and prayers. Mwah. And for all of your Rebels fans, stock up on the tissues. Bye. Oh, and may the force be with you.